Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Jack Pestridge. Welcome to another P3D review. This is not a spotlight review, but a kind of a full in-depth review with a massive explanation on how you install this at the end. We're looking at VMS Mexico Real Full from VOR Mexico Studios, and it's for versions FSX and P3D versions 1 to 4. Basically, it's a massive photoreal package that's available both in separate regional packs and a full massive altogether pack, and it's a photoreal for prepared in FSX. It contains 7 packages in the full pack, or like I said, they're all available separately. It also, within these packages, contains 32 Mexican areas or states. Everything is optimized to be friendly. You get the full Panhandle, you get the full Mexico midsection all the way down to Guatemala, and I gotta say, it is fantastic. Everything is optimized to be friendly with the frames. It comes with full autogen, although trees probably haven't been placed exactly. As you can see, there's trees on this hillside, but there's no actual trees objected onto the hillside. So the trees in the sim by default are larger than the trees in the photoreal, so that's probably why they haven't done it. It really does enhance the landscape of Mexico, and it gives you like the real satellite data, basically what Microsoft Flight Simulator does. Gives you the real satellite data of the area, so everything is exactly where it should be. You can do VFR flying with this, but the one thing is, the installation, the development of it, like as good as it looks, is absolutely pants. The installation is a nightmare and it's missing files, and at the end of this video I'm going to show you exactly how to install it easily, because there's no manual to speak of. The only manual is, you know, it says start with here and install, but it doesn't really explain how you do it. So I'm going to go through with it. The whole package is €48 for the full pack, and it's the full pack really I'm reviewing. And when you look it up against with the Orbex Global series, there is a massive difference, as you can see, between the Orbex Global base and, you know, the real Mexico base. They're two very different visual looks. Orbex just basically kind of fills it with trees, as you can see on the left here, and the land isn't as exact, you know, to the satellite data, as opposed to the Mexico Real Full, where all the roads are accurate, all the villages, tree placements, mountains. You can actually see the difference in the mountains here, whereas in the Orbex one, it's kind of like a green blanket, or a blanket of desert, and trees are placed in rather than just being represented on the photoreal. So visually there is a massive difference, and I think this is going to be a you either like it or you don't situation, because I quite like this look from Orbex. You get trees, you know, you get autogen, but the Mexico one, it just looks more real, you know, but there's no trees, there's less buildings. Side by side, it's a massive difference, you can tell, but I don't know. Anyway, so what do you get with the download? So if you get the full pack, you also will be getting all the little mini states in between as well, all the region packs. Everything, it comes with full night lighting, although I don't use the night lighting. I use black marble night lighting, which looks way more realistic. You get elevation data for 2021, so it's really up-to-date mesh. included. You get autogen, and it's HD photoreal, not just sort of, you know, standard. And in all honesty, when you look at the world from above, looking down over Mexico, you can see a huge difference between the Orbex Global range with the land class and the vector and the photoreal. Like, the photoreal just looks like you're looking at a map of the world, whereas you can see that the Orbex Global, it has a bit of repetition on it. It's kind of just one color, and it looks very basic, but like the Mexico Real stuff, just, it looks real. I guess that's why they call it Mexico Real. Anyway, I give the visual photography of this, I give it a 5 out of 5, but for the overall package, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And that's because of the way you download it, well, when you download it, the way you install it. So let's head over to SimMarket and let's have a look at what we're talking about here. The link is down in the description box below. So from VOR Mexico Studios, as you can see, there's the full pack available at the top, and then you get all these little individual ones, which, to be honest, work out at about 60-70 quid. So if you get the full pack, you're getting like a €20 savings here. Really worth it. Really worth it. So let's go in and I'll show you how to install it. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the installation process, because as beautiful as this Mexican City area is and as gorgeous as it looks, the development and installation and use of it is totally piss poor. It's confusing. You don't even actually get all the files. There's one file missing that I had to contact the developer to get, which I'm still waiting for their reply. It's a real pain to install if you don't know what you're doing, and it doesn't explain it. This is the only manual in the entire photoreal set that you'll receive, and it only says you have to install the Baja one first, and that is it. I don't understand why, because there is no need to have this installed in order to use the other packs. So this manual is completely worthless. Just ignore it. So I recommend basically what you're going to have when you first purchase the full Mexico pack. It's divided up into, you know, smaller packs as well. So there's about 6 smaller packs, and then you get the full pack set. Now, once you purchase the full pack set, SimMarket will send you the full pack set, plus it will send you all the individual ones as well. They are all the same installers. You only really need to go download the ones from the full set, but the serials to these are in the region sets. So if you only just buy the region sets, you'll have everything. If you buy the full pack, you'll be sent the individual regions and the full pack, but you don't need to download all these separate installer files. You only really need to get the PDF one. So I recommend just downloading everything. Now this is pretty big in here when you first get it. In fact, it's about 140 gig in size, right? And that's pretty much the size once it's installed on your hard drive, wherever you install it as well. It's the same size when you go to install it. It's about 139 gig as well, and this is the folder structure of what it's going to look like once you've installed everything. So we'll leave this up here. Okay, that's what it should look like, and this is before you open your simulator. Now again, once you've downloaded everything, you'll see here you have executables and then these bin files, and they're all named separately, and this is basically one region here. It's the, and I don't know how you pronounce it, the Guanajuato area of the Baja region. Okay, this is how they're all named out. So everything with the Baja region name on it, right, will go in the same folder, the Baja folder, and so you'll have all these areas with inside. And as I say, when you first install it, you'll have an XML and these install bat files. None of these are needed. You can delete these, or you can, like I've done, just put them in a bin file and save them just in case, but you don't need them at all. In fact, there is one of these sets here, which is I believe the Koala set here, which when you first install it, it then gets to a point where it says please insert disk 6. You don't actually get given disk 6, so it's missing a region. Now what you can do is one of two things. If you have Orbex installed, you can go ahead to the installation, and once it says about insert disk 6, go to where it's being installed. So it's the Norte region, it's the koala base here, and actually take the scenery folder and place it somewhere. Just copy it and place it inside. Now, inside the scenery folder, all these BGL files, you'll have one that says temp. Okay, now continue the installation, and it'll actually say, like, you have to click cancel, and then it will say rolling back, and it will delete anything it's tried to install. So that's why we've copied it and pasted it elsewhere, so you can actually still use this region. And if you do have Orbex LAN class for North America, it will fill in the gap of what's missing, so you can still use this area even though you don't have that 6 bin file. Just copy the scenery folder back into this folder here that's created, and delete that temp file, which will be one sort of 2 gig file, I think it is. Just delete it. Now you'll have a massive hole in your region when you go to load it in, but at least Orbex will fill in that hole underneath with the LAN class and global base data, so you can still use it. But you basically just go through the installation. Now, the installation is very confusing, and like I said, there's no explanation on how to do this. I don't understand why it says you have to install the Baggio region first, but I mean, you can start there if you want. I did, but I don't think it's necessary because they're all separate folders and they don't depend on each other to work. They're all very separate regions here. So basically, you right click, you run as admin, and then eventually it'll say, you know, give us your serial code. So your serial codes, like I said, you want to keep everything. So I've kept here the Baggio serial code. Now, the Baggio areas, so this one, the Guerrero, this one, all the ones that say Baggio share the same serial number. Okay, so you use the same serial number, and all these black ones are the installers. Okay, so it took me a full day to download from the SIM Market app, or like you can use the SIM Market website, either one, but it took me a full day to download all of these, literally about 8 hours. Make sure you download them all first and then go and install them region by region. Now when you go to install it, it'll ask you where you would like to put it, and I have put mine on a separate drive dedicated to Mexico, and they'll all install here. All you have to do is copy the address and then put it into the installer where it says Real Mexico. Anything after that you want to keep because it's the name of the region, and then it will create the folder for you. And then when you go to install the next set here, the next area, you just use that same process, and it will say, well, this folder already exists, do you wish to continue your installation? And just click yes, and then work your way through every single one. Like I said, when you get down here to Koala, you're going to be asked for a file that you haven't got, so don't forget to save your files before you cancel the installation, and it will delete what it has already installed. And that's basically it. Okay, so once you've installed it, all these files, I just recommend you backing up somewhere else, right? And as you saw, I backed everything up on a separate drive, so now I can delete these because, you know, I don't need these anymore. They're going to take up 150 gig nearly of space, so get rid of them, and I've got 150 gig of free space now. So now that everything's installed, and I've basically placed the add-on XML file for every area in a separate folder, I've got all these base files. Now these are the separate areas we were talking about within the region. In this case it's Baggio. Some of them won't have multiple folders, but most of them do, and the cities one in the P3D library must sit on top of the base. And I'm just going to boot the sim up now, and I'll show you exactly how to install now this pack. Like I said, it's a brilliant add-on. It looks really legitly good, but the way you install it is just so confusing, so frustrating, so long-winded. You know, people probably just give up on it. But if you don't give up up, you put it into your library, your scenery library, as a scenery item. Don't put it as an add-on XML, because that will just sit on top of your scenery library, and then the airports, they might sit underneath the scenery, and then you're going to get layering issues of elevation difference within your thing. Now, when you come to do the add-on for Mexico, that's a slightly different process. So I want to go to where I've saved all these files and show you that process. So I've saved all the files on a separate drive, all the installation files here for Mexico. So the add-on here, it's going to look like this, and obviously I use P3D version 5, so I only need to use this, but this is good for FSX to version 5. You can use it for any any area. Just make sure that you use the right one. There is a manual teaching you how to do it, but in all honesty, I don't recommend you using it, right? I'm going to show you, because it does tell you how to do it, but it again isn't the right way. It's going to teach you to put it in mainly as an add-on XML, which is fine, but it could be confusing on how you write that add-on XML. So into your scenery library now, and we scroll down to my Mexico areas. You can see they're all in here. We've got the where is it here? And I've actually, each folder I've named what's contained within. So, you know, in this area I can see that there's 3, in this region I can see there's 3 areas, 4 areas, sorry. In this one there's only 2, in this one there's 6. So, and this will help you keep track of how you install these things. So this is how you do it. Go to where you've installed them. Okay, we're going to take the Yuxin as an example and the Yuxin base as an example, and basically just copy the address here of where these 2 folders sit, like that, and then go into your scenery library, add area, and replace this directory location with what is there, and then click browse and just verify that it's actually going to the right place, which it should see there, and you should see here, and it should be blue there. So you click OK, and then it's here. Now you can click a number here if you want, you don't have to, and then just click OK, which I won't do because it's already in, and it will put it in, and then all you have to do is bring it down to a location that is safe. Now I have my scenery library completely ordered, right? So if there is an error for an installation, I can instantly troubleshoot it before it becomes a problem in my sim. So basically I have my black marble sitting on top of everything because the lights sit on top of the scenery. Time zone fixer really needs to go at the top, but black marble won't allow this to sit at the top indefinitely. This still works in the 3rd area as well. I have these 2 next just because they are only to do with the plane, and at the end of the day I don't really use these that much. And then I have all my night environment stuff, and then we start on the very sort of western or eastern, or however you want to say it. Basically we start in the French Polynesian area, and then I order my scenery library from this point moving east. So we move east through all the French Polynesian bits all the way across, and then Hawaii comes up, and then of course moving across we have Canada and America, and after all America we have obviously moved down to Mexico, and there's the South America stuff I put in, and basically we're just moving east across the world. And this is how I layer my library. So any land class items will sit definitely below cities, and any airports will definitely sit on top of everything else, and it all moving across all the way right through. And the last items in here are basically to do with New Zealand. So but although these 2 items are photoreal entries that need to be underneath, so they're underneath. And then of course you've got your FTXA libraries and Pacific Northwest ferries, and then all the Orbex XML items sit together, and then all the scenery static items like True Earth, regions, global stuff, land class data, they all sit together, and then I have my default stuff underneath. So it's very important your library is layered correctly. Airports that are XML'd, I only pop in my add-ons folder when I actually need to use them. So currently I'm doing a Mexican tour, so I've got all my Mexican stuff in at the moment. All this is together, so that's, you know, gonna now sit on the very top of my library like it does. And this is really how the XML system shall be used. If you've got XML items scattered throughout the entire library, you're most likely going to find that you've got issues, issues for layering. So once you've done everything, make sure you choose an airport. It doesn't matter what airport it is. We're going to go and see if there's a PL. Yep, we're going to go to Punta Colorado, which is on the coast by the looks of it. Wait for this thing to load fully. Might take a couple of minutes. Click OK. Choose your vehicle. I'm just going to grab the Raptor. And we use the daytime and then load into the sim. Now, if it crashes at this point, if your sim just goes bye-bye and, crashes, just fire it back up again, right? But before you fire it back up, head into program data in the C drive. Oops, daisy. Head into program C on the C drive here, into the Lockheed Martin folder, into the P3D version 5, scenery indexes, and delete everything in here. And these are your index files. This is just for fast, easy loading. So highlight everything, delete it, and then fire up your sim, and that index folder will be recreated from P3D. Now, if you have loads of XML files in your scenery library, loads of scenery files, the loading process to get to the splash screen will be extended because it's having to rebuild the database from scratch, and the loading into the sim for that first time will also be extended because it's actually physically loading things into a temp file ready to render into the sim. Now, once you close your sim down, after you've loaded into the actual sim, every load after that will be much faster, not only to get to your splash screen, but to get into the sim as well. I personally, because I drag and drop my XML airports all the time, basically the sim is rebuilding the index all the time. That's a good thing. I don't mind waiting the extra 2 minutes. At the end of the day, it means I have a much more stable sim, and there's less library issues that pop up and lock out my sim from starting at all. Because if you have any scenery library layering orders, your sim might not even start, and then you're like, how do I fix it? I have shown you how you fix those types of errors in a different video. I'll link it down below. But basically that's it. Once you've loaded into the sim, for the first time, you've loaded the data into the pool that the next time you load in is going to use straight away. So it is very important that you load into the sim, shut it down, delete your indexes, and then go into the sim and go fly. Now, I said I'd show you how we do the airport, so I'll show you now. So wherever you've got your installation, okay, I've got it in Mexico. Go to that WinRAR file, okay. You want to forget the manual, but grab what you need and pull it out. Now, when it says enter a password, obviously you just need to open up your SimMarket account and grab the password from, you can use the app or you can use the thingy, and grab that password from the list here. So I believe it's almost halfway down. These are all the installation files here. So basically take this register code. I'm not going to show you my code, but take this code and pop it into the enter password section, and it will begin with MMMX. And then once you do that, it's actually going to start to copy out what you requested. Okay, now what you're going to have is this file here, version 5, which is the Mexico City add-on. I recommend removing the word add-on, but you don't have to. You can leave it on if you want. And inside is everything you need. Now, this XML file, you're going to need to rewrite a little bit, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. But there's 2 files in here that you'll need to pop in. Now, if you have the taxi to gate airport, these 2 files need to sit inside the scenery file for that airport. Now, I have all my airports on the P3D drive here under airports, although I think MMMX is sitting in the add-on scenery section here. So you just scroll down to the taxi to gate area, which is all my air stuff is in here, but it's not in there. It should be, but it's not. So MMMX, here it is, Mexico City. go in there, go into the taxi to gate, go into the first one, not for the city because that's for the city, you want the airport, go into the scenery file, and then pop these two files inside this file, and then you'll see them, MMX exclude and exclude 2. Now this will basically remove some files from this airport in order for the add-on to work correctly for the files it's going to use. Then the GSX2 file, you got the ini file here, so head to your C drive, going into app data, I believe it is, the roaming one, scroll down to the virtuali GSX, and then just pop it in here. These are instructions for GSX to use at the airport. Once you've done those two files, take the scenery and texture file and just place it wherever you want. Now I've got, again, mine are all on a P3D drive here under airports. So if we scroll down, we should see MX somewhere, which is, oh no, actually I've put it under cities. So here it is. Put your folders here, and then open up your add-on XML, because I do recommend this going in as an add-on XML. And all you have to do is take this address here, right, copy it, and paste it under where it says your folder path. Put the entire, you don't actually have to put the word scenery in there, but you just paste that in like that, okay? And then that's basically it. And then it will pick up these two folders automatically. I say you don't need to put the scenery one in there. That's again just misleading. It does say effects, which is a bit weird because airports are scenery, so the word scenery should be written here, but it says the word effects in the manual. I'll stick with it. Maybe it just changes the effects of the original files. If you've removed the word add-on, make sure that you remove the word add-on here in the add-on name, because the pathway won't actually say the word add-on. So that's very important that this XML file is written correctly. And then once you've done that, you can pop it in a folder, rename it to whatever you want, and then pop it in your P3D version 5 add-ons folder where it will sit, and mine is here. And there's my add-on XML file, and this points to the location of where I've placed that city airport add-on. And it is for the city, it is for the airport. I have placed in the city though, but it is for the airport. The location of where you place it doesn't matter. In fact, you can even pop it into your scenery library if you want, as long as it sits on the very top of the Mexico stuff. I've put it as an XML. That's fine. Once you've done that, basically that's really it. You've installed everything you need. Go fly, go and enjoy, and this is what it looks like once you install. Obviously on the ground things look a little bit blurry. That's the sort of, you know, what happens with photoreal. You only get the quality down to a certain level, and it's generally sort of between 50 centimeters to a meter, so anything below that is kind of blurry. Basically, yeah, go fly and it looks brilliant. As you can see with this airport, there isn't actually any airport. It's just literally a dirt strip, really. But if we head over to the MMX airport, which, by the way, it's a very heavy place. I recommend lowering your autogen to low, or sparse, and your draw distance to low, because it is a very, very heavy place. And then once, of course, you do that, it will reload your scenery library objects and you'll have better frame rate. But Mexico City area is very heavy on the frames, so just allow for that when you load in, and you'll see the difference that it gives you at that airport, which I'm not sure the developer's done it correctly, because there's no airport and the ground texture looks diabolical. So it's supposed to enhance, but I don't think it does. At the end of the day, you don't have to use that if you're using the Mexico airport. You can just leave it out, and that's basically it. That's everything you need to know. I give this add-on a 3 out of 5. It is probably one of the best photo real packs available because it covers the entire area of Mexico, but it's just very poorly implemented to install into the sim, and they don't give you all the files, and certain parts of it just, you know, don't look that good. And so overall, 3 out of 5. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. Don't forget, every month I give away €50 on my channel to one lucky winner. Just you can spend it on FLIGHTSIM add-ons. The last Friday of every month when I go live with my vlog, all you have to be in with a chance to win is a subscriber to my channel and a comment down below in any one of my P3D videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye.